I'm standing here with Ronny Kilde from Norway, no, Finland.
I'm Finnish, but I live in Norway.
Okay. And you have the topic of mind control. What can you explain? What is mind control? Is it a technical means of something, or do you?
Well, I think it is the worst technology in the world. I would say personally that it's worse than the atom bomb, because it makes people to different personalities. It's electromagnetic fields that can be thrown over you. It's also drugs that can have an effect on you. It's psychological warfare against the civilian population. And the whole thing is to keep you under, like a zombie. And unfortunately, the plans of the elite are to eliminate 2/3 of the world population. And that sounds totally crazy, but that is a fact.
What was your first contact with this topic? I mean, this is something most people don't even know, that there are these plans. How did you get in contact?
Well, I'm a bestseller author in 6 languages on parapsychology, ufology, and now mind control. And it took me years to understand that governments are planning to eliminate their own people. And I've been to international congresses. I've met people from all over the world. I've talked to cosmonauts, I've talked to astronauts, and scientists from all over the world. And by and by, you learn. And I do think that people should know about it, because they don't want their children and grandchildren to become biological robots for the supercomputers.
How could that happen? I mean, what's that technology like? I mean, how can they really make people zombies? Because
it's a military technique, and that's why it is kept secret. Also, it is a technology that secret services are using against us. They usually put a device into an apartment or a house which is next to the target. They pick out targets. Usually they are different kinds of women, single women especially, because single women are alone and they don't have support of the family. They pick out, of course, mental patients. They pick out prisoners. They pick out soldiers, etc. But today they pick out anybody to be a target, especially politicians, because politicians, of course, are the ones who are allowing this system. But I think they don't know what they are allowing. So they beam through the walls, they beam from the satellites, and they beam from white vans and from helicopters and planes. And it has a terrible effect on the human being who is a target.
Is this kind of a microwave?
Yes, among others, yeah.
If I were a target, they could rent a neighbor place, and they could do it through the walls, or what?
Oh, absolutely. Or, like I said, they park a white van next to you, or from the helicopters.
And satellites too, you said. And the,
right. And how do you protect yourself against satellites? It's just about impossible.
What have you personally experienced with since you're researching on this? I mean, it's pretty dangerous, probably, yes?
Oh, I know that. I have been researching it for over 10 years, and I'm also a target for over 10 years. They killed my both parents, trying to shut me up, and they killed my best friend in February because she knew too much and she gave me information. I've had death threats, and I've been taken by ambulance to the hospital unconscious because they poisoned me. And like they say, you can be killed too. And I said, that's fine, but there is no death. And that's my strength, because I know that the human body is just water mostly, and it's the energy that is us. And so you just get out of your body, which I have done sometimes. And sometimes some women who are delivering babies and they have great pains, they also get out of their body, and then they watch themselves delivering the baby, and then they come back. So when you know that you can't die, because energy can't die, it just changes form, changes the frequency. So that's my strength. I know I can't die. They can do whatever they want. I can't die.
So first, the topic of mind control would really make you afraid that you can't do anything. But your solution, so to say, is that we are not the body, but we are spirit, or what are we?
That's right. That's right. And when you know the truth, who you are, how did you come to this planet, and when you are an energy, of course, you are also multidimensional, and you can be on many, many dimensions at the same time, and that's very, very hard for people to understand, because we think of time as in linear time, but it doesn't work that way. So you can be on another planet at the same time as you're here. That is your energy, not your physical body.
Do the secret societies or whatever also engage in time manipulation? Or do you know anything about
in the States, you know, the Montauk project, you know, they do time travel, and quite a few kids, young boys, have died with the experiments. But they are able to go to the future and to the past, and they are even able to change the past, which sounds totally unbelievable.
That's very dangerous.
It's
so they
very
can
dangerous.
do a lot of things. And
Exactly.
I heard the foreign minister of Sweden has been killed. Have you heard anything, or had an accident? Do you know that it had anything to do?
Which one?
The Swedish foreign minister, you told me.
Are you talking about the lady who was killed, the foreign minister, Anna Lindh?
Yes.
Well, yeah, she was killed by a young Yugoslav man who was, in my mind, totally mind controlled to do that. Because that's what they do. They program people for killing, assassinations, or for espionage. And of course, there is a reason why they target a certain person. And I think it's atrocious that young men who are, in principle, normal, they are beamed and beamed and beamed for months or years, and that changes their personality into hate, because you can change anything. You can change any emotion. Somebody loves you, they can change it that somebody starts hating you. So I don't understand, why don't they, because they have this technology, why don't they send the vibration of love? Frequency of love. We would all love each other. This would be a paradise. No.
They don't want it.
They don't want
control,
that.
or
Exactly.
what is behind it?
Exactly. They want control, and they, according to my sources, they are planning to eliminate the middle class. So they just want the elite and the slave class, because middle class is dangerous. They can read and write, and they can react.
Okay, and what's the solution? It's people being aware that they are not the body, and that they free their mind, or what's the solution?
Well, number one is awareness. You have to tell people. Very many don't believe it, because it sounds so it's unethical, immoral. It's just like of science fiction. But if you don't know, then you become a victim. And if you do know, then you can do something about it, maybe. And with the energy of all of us, when we concentrate, sending love and light to those who harass us, then that takes the weapons away from them. They can't do that. But we have to get the people to do it first.
They could kill you anytime. You told that they could do it via satellite, so they know
here.
where you are.
Absolutely. They're listening to what I say now. But why haven't they done it? I mean, they killed my parents. They caused a stroke to my mother, and bleeding inside to my father. And cancer, fulminant cancer to my friend. I think I'm protected by the universe, because I've been saved so many times from absolute situations of death. Energies come and stop when I'm supposed to, die. So I just believe they still want me to do something.
There's a higher spirit, however, what you want to call it.
I don't like to use different words. I just say the force of the universe.
Okay, and it can be protective.
Absolutely.
So what can we do to enforce that, or to get this protection?
Well, you ask.
Yes.
Number one, you ask.
Yes.
And when you ask, it will be given to you.
Okay.
That's as simple as that.
It's so easy. It sounds
right.
easy, but it's really it's really a hard topic, and people are not aware of it. So what's your next project? You're writing a book, or?
Well, I have right with me a manuscript. The book has come out already last year in Finnish, and now it's been translated into Norwegian. I just have to get a publisher, and then I think I'll take a vacation when it comes out, because it's hard information.
Maybe we should look for a publisher in German, huh?
Yeah, anytime.
Maybe
I've sold, my 4 previous books have sold 250,000.
Oh,
So that's pretty good.
That's pretty, really, yes, I know.
Considering I'm a medical doctor, that's not my profession.
No, but it's great, really. So people are interested in
Oh,
it.
they are. Absolutely.
How can people be manipulated over TV or PC, computer or whatever?
And telephone and radio, because they are sending certain frequencies. And sometimes, especially in TV, I don't have a TV. I don't also have a mobile anymore, because they said you're on a hit list. They can just increase the power of the microwave 20,000 times and it burns your brain. But they sent in certain programs like those for children, Pokemon or Teletubbies, they are mind control programs for children. And that is terrible. That is really terrible. It's in internet. You can read the whole thing, what they mean. The big sun coming out, that's the authority. You know, have to obey the authority. It's symbols and all the way through. And when they were showing in Japan the Pokemon Nintendo program, so it was, I think it was about 900 children got epileptic attacks because they put the epileptic attack frequency. They can put a cancer frequency, they can put a stroke frequency, they can put any emotional frequency. And, you know, that's pretty scary. And people don't know. They just watch like zombies the TV, and TV is like a hypnotizer. And sometimes you see it's very, very, the picture changes, it's light green instead of being the normal color. That's when they are beaming with X-ray. So you better sort of get out of the way.
Oh, you can see it.
Oh, yeah,
if you know
if you know what to look for, yeah.
Usually you would think it's a technical problem.
Yeah,
but
no, it's meant to be, to affect your brain negatively.
Do you know anything about the Columbine massacre and all these high school students are going?
We had those two of them in Finland. It's always a political reason, and number one is to get guns away from the civilians so that they can't protect themselves if some crises come. Like in Finland, we were the only country in the European Union that voted no, we will not restrict the guns, because we have a long border with Russia, 1,700 kilometers, and the bears and the wolves come over. So we have young men, 15 and so up, who are hunting. We have more guns in Finland, third more guns in Finland according to the population in the whole world. So we said no. Then came the school shooting. And our Prime Minister said, oh, well, we will restrict.
To do something about that.
And the next day came the NATO Secretary General. Finland is not in NATO, we don't want to go, to be ruled by Americans, etc. So we restricted, but very little. So 1 year went, another school shooting, and then the Prime Minister said, now we are really going to restrict. So they got what they wanted. And think of the Nepalese royal family when the Crown Prince killed King and a Queen and the whole family. So you always have to, and at the end he killed himself. That is Delta programming in mind control, to kill yourself so you can't be,
so they can program someone to commit suicide after
that's Delta programming. And you always have to ask who benefits, then you know who's behind. Who benefited in Finland, EU, European Union, because we said yes. Who benefited in Nepal? King's brother, who was gone and came and became a king. But luckily he's gone out now. But who is the one who is doing the programming? That's CIA and intelligence services all over the world. So and unethical doctors who have implanted people with microchips.
Are there even forces behind that you would call Illuminati or anything?
Well, you can call them that if you want to.
Yeah.
You world order.
And they're using the secret
services as errand boys do they do the dirty work. That's right.
And they have technology, but we don't know about this technology. How far is it advanced about what we know?
Of course it is. I mean, they can read your thoughts, your subconscious, your dreams, and they can influence you. Well, that is pretty advanced, I would say.
Yes.
And people know nothing about it, generally. And then they say, how do you prove it? How do you prove secret military actions? If you get your hands on some military reports, and because of Freedom of Information Act in the USA, a lot of reporting has come out, and that's how you find out.
And you have a lot of documents in your book, I suppose?
Well, some.
Is it everywhere the same in the Far East and Asia?
It's all over. It's all over, especially Japan. I've gotten letters from Japan, from males and females, that they are subjected to mind control harassment, and it's all over the world.
So, sounds frightening, but you say the solution is that we are getting aware of what's happening, and we know that we are not this body, and we are not afraid of losing this body. That's
right. You have to remember there's no death, and we're not alone in the universe. That helps a lot when you know that.
I think that would be a nice last word. Thank you, Dr. Köhler, for this interview. Thank you.